Hello, I'm JD Williams, and I run a community game night, the Laveen community game night, and I want to just go over what the setup looks like for that, both the physical setup and the OBS setup. So for community game night, before I even get started, I'm going to say this is what it's currently like. This is not what it looked like when it started. When it started, a lot less stuff going on. But after a few years of doing this, this is what it kind of looks like in its current form. First, I would have 3 monitors to run community game night. If you are doing anything where you have a full monitor that you're putting out through OBS, I would suggest having at least 2. I had 3, and I'm going to jump into what each of them had on them. Our center monitor had the game and just ran the game. So if we were playing Fortnite, that was there, Fall Guys or Rocket League, those all just showed up on the center screen. The left monitor was really for some communication stuff or anything that's based out of on the web. So in Chrome, I would have Twitch open so that I could see the status of the stream. I could see the emote only chat that was in there. I could see the activity feed. I could see how many viewers and things like that. I would also have the Google Classroom in our school district for our school district students that were open. For anyone that couldn't watch Twitch, we would put the how to join the game night into there, and also a Google Doc for anyone that was outside of our district that didn't have access to Twitch to watch the stream. We would put the codes and things like that, how to get into the games. And then I would also have the leaderboard open, and sometimes I would put that onto the screen in OBS. The right monitor was a lot of communication, OBS, and audio. So on the top, I would have Discord open for communication with just our coaches, with just the adults that were involved in it, not with students. Students weren't in the Discord. I would have OBS on a third of the screen, and then I would have my audio, which I use Elgato's Wavelink because of my microphone, and have that audio control there. The problem with having OBS on just a third of the screen was it was kind of difficult to change stuff around and things like that. So I did also use a couple of Stream Decks to go through this and make everything kind of work a little more efficiently. So my left Stream Deck, this was all in-game information. So if I wanted to show the match info or the player list, or if I wanted to go to a drone view or back to the player view, that was all done here. And then I also had some audio controls, so I could mute or adjust the volume of the audio in Wavelink that would go out to the stream. The right Stream Deck was more all of these up here. All of these blue ones are the different scenes in OBS, which we'll get into later. Had some lighting control, had some information about my computer just to make sure things weren't overheating or too many resources were being used. And then all of these purple in the middle here are different Twitch chats that were kind of set up before. So our first game code, our second game code, the form for our giveaway, play a 30-second ad, clear the chat if I needed to do that. Never really needed to use that one because it was emote only chat, but that was there in case it was. And then I would have turn my camera on and off on the stream, and then also all of our audio. So my microphone, our Discord audio chat with the coaches or anyone or any other adult that was in there and on the stream, and my game and my browser. I did use Wavelink to adjust all the audio because I had an Elgato microphone. And the neat thing about Wavelink is it gives you options to have these different channels set up. So I'd have a channel set up for my microphone, for the Discord audio call, for my computer system, for the game, for the browser, just different things we might use, the Rocket League voice chat if we were playing Rocket League. And these buttons would let me say, is this on the stream or in my headphones? So as you can see, I have on this right now, my microphone is not coming through to my headphones, but it was going out to the stream. Discord was coming through to my headphones, but not going out to the stream. And this was great because I could turn my microphone off to the stream, turn Discord off to the stream, and still talk to the people that we had in the audio chat without it going out to everyone on the stream. If I wanted it to go on the stream, I would just use those buttons that were in the Stream Deck to mute and unmute the stream audio for each of the different channels. All right, now let's jump into OBS and take a look at that. All right, I have loaded up OBS and loaded up Fortnite to kind of go over what our community game night stream looks like in OBS. And again, this is not what it looked like when it started. This is after about 4 years of running through this. So we mainly had the starting scene, a couple of video scenes, and then an in-game scene, and then a second scene. Our starting scene here, this is what was shown at the beginning, probably for about 15 minutes, has a little bit going on here. I have Fortnite queue, which you can see it show and go away there. That was a screen capture from the game that showed how many players were queued. We would run custom lobbies, which to do that, you need to be in the Epic Support a Creator program to have access to custom lobbies. I had this leaderboard that's just screenshots of our leaderboard that would kind of run through. And then this new background, it's just something that's always there, always the same. So I made that in Canva and put that there. And then the things that would change were kind of here in OBS. So our code and our game type, those would change week to week, or even game to game. So those are in there to edit. I did make a custom keys scene that has our game type 1, game type 2, and then the code for game 1 and game 2. And then all of the other scenes just use that same text. So I could go to this scene, which never was shown on stream, but go to this scene and adjust before we got started. And then if I had to adjust while the game was going on, I would really just like double click on code 1 and go in here and change it if need be. Anything else that's on here was just the countdown timer, which isn't showing up right now. So that was ran through another program called Snaz. And I would set up a 15-minute timer, or a timer that goes down to 7 o'clock when it started. So that was our main scene to start. And then our video starting scene. This scene was just a video, a lot of same stuff, but it has a video that showed how to join, which I found after doing this a few times, like being able to find a way for students or other players to know how to get in to the match, how to get into a custom match, was kind of important. So there's a video that would just play during that first 15 minutes. And then also a replay video. So it was just kind of some highlights cut together from usually the previous stream. And I would set that up and try and keep those under about 2 minutes. So during the start, the first 15 minutes, just information for the players. And they would have those 15 minutes to put in the key, and I would run through the video starting once or twice, the replay video once or twice. Now, once it was time to start, again, custom match running. This is what our in-game looked like, and a few things that would show up on here. The last game, which was again a screenshot taken from a spreadsheet. And then also our Discord voice. So Discord voice, people in the Discord voice call, it would show who was talking. And then I have my camera and a button just to turn my camera on and off. After the match was set up, and then we'd get queued players, however many we're going to play. I would just click the start match button and the match would start. And then on this scene, I would just show the game and I would kind of jump through different parts of the gameplay as we were going on. Now, when that first game ended, I would go in and I'm going to cancel this right here. I would go down to the custom key. I would make a new custom key for the next game, hit accept, hit close, select the match type, and I would hit play. And something that's fun with custom keys is you need to make sure that you have that start match button before you give that key out. So I would create that, and then we would go to our second game scene. And on our second game scene, of course, the UI has changed. So let's show how you would change that so it's just cropped. So let me change the crop and get it back down to our queued players. This would happen kind of often actually with Fortnite, and I would do this before, obviously, but I would recrop it so we could get the queued players that were in, and we'd have a timer going on, and then the who won the last match would be set up there. And then after that second game, or after the timer was up and we just go again right back to the in-game, hit that start match button and get that match started, play that through. After that second game was over with, we would go to the stream ending that would have some scheduling and some information. Also, sometimes when it was going on, I would click this dropping in, and that would be a screen share of our leaderboard or different things that I'd want to show, like if we were doing a giveaway. That was all just in Chrome. So really 3 main scenes: starting scene, a game scene, and then an end scene. But we did add a few more in. And again, all the stuff in here is just pictures that were created in Canva with a transparent background so that the background video would show up back there behind it. And that is really a brief overview of how OBS was set up for our community game nights.